Hi and welcome back to Larand Gaming, and if you are new to the channel, welcome. I am Larand, and yes, it's time to deal with those armored sharks. You know, those that is lurking outside of Smuggler's Bay here in Timeless Tides. Yeah, they are really tough to beat, and well, not everyone knows this, but yeah, you cannot defeat them using traditional spears. They are basically immune to damage. So we need to use axes, and the axes is the only one that you can use here in the supply shop. So we need to go in here, and yeah, I actually had to re-record this. I did it before, but it felt like, yeah, I need to get more straight to the point, because it was a little bit too much talk without getting to the point. And over here at Quartermaster Morgan you can buy the axes, and basically these axes are roughly the same. The difference is the damage, and damage is of course critical. None of them has a specialty, and they have identical trail, I would say, so no big difference basically. It's just the damage and the price, of course. Worth to remember is also, if you don't use an axe in this ocean, well, you're gonna have a pretty rough time when an armored shark attacks you, because, well, you cannot kill it basically. So we need to have the axe equipped here, and of course it also comes in at the price, and well, it's not cheap. So the cheapest is the iron banded axe. It has a price of 3 million coins. So if you plan to go further out from Smuggler's Bay, well, you need to spend those coins to actually get this iron banded axe. And the second one, the steel war axe, that's a damage of 525. Then you have to pay 4.5 million coins. And the last one, the flintlock axe, that's a gem one. It's 5,000 gems. But then again, you actually do 850. I will just show each and every axe ever so quickly. Not gonna do sophisticated tests for each one of them, because they are so similar. I have already done a lot of testing of these things, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep it short. So this is what that axe looks like. It's a great model. Looks like this. It has lots of details. No glow, no nothing. It has things like a rivet. And as for trail, it looks like this. It's not really that much, and it's basically the same trail for all three axes. When you throw it into a wall, the axe can end up in different angles to that wall. As you can see, the handle is slightly different each time, because the axe spins in mid-air. So depending on the distance to your target, it will, well, it will look different basically. But we're also going to check the second cheapest, or the second most expensive one. And you will see also that it has similar behavior. I'm going to equip it. It's a slightly smaller, thinner handle on this axe, as you can see. No bigger difference. We're going to throw it ever so quickly in the air. You can see the trail. Well, it's the same basically, and it looks, well, the same when you throw it into a building. It doesn't make any special sounds or anything. We're gonna do a free camera, just like the previous one. Looks like this. Still a cool model though, absolutely. But yeah, if you're gonna go for something out here when it comes to armored sharks, I can only recommend the one that costs gems, because you need to do a lot of damage. These armored sharks has 3,500 hit points, so that requires a lot of hits to actually get one down. And since you don't have any specialties on any of these weapons, well, you will get both less experience and you will get less loot than you would normally get when you use, if you're used to spears like Jaded Crystal, or if you are the one that is lucky to have the Sunburst spear, things that gives twice the loot. This doesn't exist in this ocean basically. So we're gonna equip the best spear, or not the best spear. I'm talking about axes, the flintlock axe. Damage 850, and with that damage, the damage of 850, it means that you will need to have 4 hits to down an armored shark. So this is the flintlock axe. We can throw it into the air, and as you can see, it's the same kind of effect. And into the wall, same kind of result. Gonna do that free camera again. As you can see, lots of cool details. Definitely a flintlock. so no problem there, but it doesn't have any specialty. But still, it's the best axe that we currently have in this ocean. So what can you do? Well, basically, first of all, I did a lot of tests here, so many different boats, many different pets, many different tests, and well, I'm gonna keep it as short as possible because you want to know the end result, of course, which I think was the best solution. And there are several different solutions actually. First of all, the cheap one. I mean, not everyone can afford everything in this game, obviously. So if you start somewhere, I would start with this garden boat. Yeah, that's a big surprise, isn't it? With this garden boat. Sea creatures won't attack it, which is great because these armored sharks, they count as sea creatures. And basically, if you are unsure on all sharks and don't want to fight them all at once, I can just highly recommend that you use this one, because then, as you can see, these armored sharks, they won't attack you, which is great. And what you can do, you can basically pick whatever shark you want and just take them one by one. They are very, very aggressive, these sharks, so they can really just down this boat in one hit, because one hit from an armored shark, it takes 400 hit points, and this is fully upgraded, and it only has 250 hit points, so there's really no room for, well, mistakes in this boat. But still, it's a very good boat and useful when it comes to this. The only downside is that it's a little bit on the slow side, so if there are many players hunting, well, maybe you don't want to have a too slow boat. But we can go down and take a look at one of these sharks. So here we have one. This one behaves very similar to hammerhead sharks and void hammerhead sharks, so I can pretty easily just evade it. I swim currently backwards, press basically to the right and compensate with the mouse. So as you can see, it won't really do anything at this moment. It tries to attack me, but the way I move makes it pretty much, well, harmless. And well, you can't touch the shark. So if I touch the fin like I did, it will swim away, just like the orcas. And so if I throw an axe, like that, you can see that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that was actually not enough. So we need 5 hits. I got a little bit of lag. So 5 hits, and it went down. And that's pretty much, even for a very strong axe. This is the strongest axe that we have in the game. So, what can we do to make this even better? Well, we have pets, we have other boats. So, next step, if you have a lava pet, as you can see, you get more spear damage. So, we're gonna equip that one, because this one is fairly easy to get. No big deal, actually. And the lava pet is better than the mythical one, because this doesn't add any more spear damage. So, go with the lava pet, and if my calculations is correct, this extra 5% means that I will be able to get a shark with 4 hits now instead, which is a big difference. That's 20% less throws. Basically, you save 1 throw per shark, which is just awesome. So I'm gonna go down here instead. A lonely shark again. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So as you can see, with the lava pet, I'm down to 4 hits. And then it starts to become a little bit better. So what can we do to boost this even more? Well, sure, some of you have been fortunate enough to have Friend Parrot. This gives plus 25 more spear damage. Just for testing, I will show you what happens when I use this one, because it will still require you actually to kill a shark with 4 hits. So even if you have a lava pet, it still performs just as good as this exotic parrot. No big difference. You still need to throw 4 axes. And this time it's gonna be more sharks. So I'm gonna see if you see the benefit with this boat now is that none will attack me. So this one is a little bit more casual. The sharks are pretty harmless at this point, as you can see. We're just gonna pick a target. So we have 1, 2, 3, and as you can see, it will require this 4th throw, even with this green neon parrot. So, well, it's no big difference really. Sure, you did a lot of more damage with the parrot, but it's not enough to get them with 3 hits. So we're gonna push this even further, of course. What you can do if you have a narwhal, for instance, well, then you have better top speed, and then you can use that one instead. But this is the cheap alternative, so this is with a garden boat. It's pretty simple because then you can pick the target, and the target won't pick you. So that's perfect. But the thing is that the best boat that I found here was actually the old pirate ship. Not these new ones, the pirate rowboat, not the adventure sloop, and not the brig, because, well, they don't have any specialties. But the old pirate ship, this is my favorite, because, well, it's even cheaper than the most expensive brig when it comes to gem, but it has the specialty of up to 60% more monster damage. We're gonna equip it, of course, and I will show you exactly how I farm these armored sharks. So I have a pretty efficient method actually. I'm pretty satisfied with the result. I have been able to get all the items from the armored sharks this way, and it didn't take too long actually. So this is the solution. Well, this is my solution at least. So we're gonna go out with this one. We need to find a lot of sharks. I can see someone is already over there, so I would prefer to go somewhere else. It's easier to do this all by yourself. And that's what I'm gonna aim to do. I mean, he's fighting all the sharks on his own over there, so that's gonna take a little while. I don't need to interfere him. There's plenty of sharks in other locations. As you can see, the arrow jumped over here now instead. And the thing is that when you farm sharks, some kite them in a straight line. That's not my preferred way, because then you have to turn around and get all the loot. Eventually you will you will run into the map border, and yeah, that won't make anyone happy. That takes time. And as for aiming and actually hitting the shark, I can show you this. So if I turn the camera down below the surface, and I make a sharp turn now all the time, and I keep turning, I don't need to look on anything else. I just focus here on the sharks. You see the cursor. Any shark that I will click on, basically, doesn't matter if it jumps up and down. If I click the shark and I actually hit the shark with the cursor, I got a little bit of lag here, so maybe I lost a little bit track of them. I can wait a little bit. There we go. But if I just click one of these, as you can see, I hit them right away. It's really difficult actually to miss this way. So what I can just do in this position is that I circle like this, in circle, and I don't really have to bother about the loot because I make a sharp turn all the time. So that means if I kill something, I will get to the loot. I don't really need to look anywhere because I'm just making a sharp turn. And this is very, very efficient. So, well, it's sure it takes time, but it's the most powerful solution. And you get sharks with 3 hits. So I can just clear everything like this and just get the loot. I will not miss anything basically. And if I do a mistake, if I start to run around in different directions and run into these sharks with this boat, even if I have 1900 hit points, it will down this boat very, very fast. Because I've seen a difference in the attack pattern. If you were attacked by an orca, usually you took the damage from that specific orca, and then it took a few seconds before you could take damage again from a second orca. These, they seem to be able to hit you all at once, and for each hit they will take 400 hit points from your ship, and it will go fast. And as you can see, I cleared every single shark. I got all the loot because I was just driving around in a circle. I was aiming underneath the water. Very, very efficient. And well, you can see for yourself. If I would drive straight into all these sharks, well, this is what's gonna happen. And I see this a lot. You can see the hit points here. It took me out the very same second I was above them. And yeah, this is a problem. I don't really want to be in the water right now, but here we go. And yeah, in a situation like this, this is going to be very problematic because you can't evade the sharks forever. Eventually you will get bitten by them. It's a little bit too many to keep track of, even if I try. It's not going to be easy. Since I mean, I know there's 2 behind me right now. They will eventually come back. Still looking pretty good, but it's a lot of things to keep track on. These 2, they are swimming away. Will take a few seconds before they get back. I try to jump also. That sometimes helps me a little bit. But backwards and around is a good way of evading them as good as possible if you end up in the water like this. This is not recommended. This is not efficient. This is very dangerous. You will most likely die. So I think I can take that one. So that's another shark. It's a lot to keep track of. These sharks are extremely dangerous. So, well, I did survive. It went well. It's not easy to evade all these sharks. It does require a lot of practice. And this is not it's not recommended, because what you're gonna do now? I mean, there's no more sharks to kill. I got all the loot, but it's just, well, you can't teleport back. The boat is already destroyed, so you can only reset. But this is basically what you do. This was my most efficient method, and well, it's not a good way of grinding money, that's for sure. If you go for hunting and the goal is to get a lot of coins, this is not the place to be. Ocean 1 is much better. Someone has had some bad luck over there. This is a common sight over here when you have these sharks, and well, we have armored shark meat. We can shoot it like that. Let's get rid of it. Bye-bye, meat. Alright. So, let's see. Did I get something, by the way? Pretty much as normal. This is the most common things that you will get. I got actually an armored shark tooth. But as you can see, the meat doesn't really pay that much. The tail is uncommon. It's a little bit better. The rare fin... decent, I would say. The tooth is pretty good actually, so that's 30,000, so that's good. We can sell all these. I will also show you all the other pieces. So you have the armored shark head. We can check the price for that. So the shark head on this server, price will vary depending on the server. So at this server currently for me with my level is almost 40,000. We can sell it as well. I don't need it. And we also have this baby armored shark. This one is cool. This one is really tough to get. Took a long time to get. You can get lucky, of course, and get it right away. I wasn't, however. It took several hours, and I know there are players that has been trying to farm it for like 9 hours or something like that, and yeah, it's a lot of time. It's pretty hard because, well, there's no specialties on the axes, but yeah, that's the way it is, and that's how I farm these armored sharks. Okay, but before we leave, well, first of all, I cannot currently add this egg into the tank. Something is wrong. It doesn't really let you save or put something here into the tank. So can't really do that. But as soon as I can, I will show you what that looks like. But also regarding these axes do work in the first ocean. And that's also something that is important to know, because if you compare the prices, which, well, I know some think is pretty high for an axe, but if you compare those prices with what you can get in Ocean 1 when it comes to spears, these prices are pretty good actually. And you know, since you can use it in both oceans, it's not really that horrible. Of course, it will be a downgrade if you already have a really good spear from Ocean 1, because then you go back. But if you are looking into some spear upgrades in Ocean 1, take a closer look at those axes actually in Ocean 2 first, because I think you can get much more damage for the same kind of price. That is actually really good. Okay, yes. Well, in any case, that was all I had for you today. If you do have any questions and comments about this, please put them below. Like this video if you would like to see more content from Fishing Simulator. Please subscribe, and yes, have a nice day. Bye everyone.